Hey there guys, Mad Mama coming at you. How y'all doing today? Let me tell you something. I'm just going to get into it today. Took the kids out to Turner Falls. See? Turner Falls. It's not quite what I remembered it being. It's funny when you're a kid and you remember all this stuff. Well, you think you do. You don't remember it as well as you thought you did. Kids had a blast, okay? They had so much fun. They went diving off the diving board. Well, Joe did. Emma didn't. And they slid down the slide, and we went to the falls. Kind of upset. Didn't get to get under the falls. They got it all blocked off now. That was one of the coolest things when I was a kid, was to swim all the way out there to the fall, stand underneath it, They're getting your picture because you're underneath the falls and all this other stuff. Didn't get to do that, but I couldn't have swam out there anyway. Just saying. I sat on the edge and watched the kids swim for a minute because it was ice cold. Don't recall it being that cold when I was a kid, just saying. It was so much fun though. We went up to the castles, we did all this other stuff, but it's just crazy how when you're a kid, you're like, oh my God, it was so much fun. And you got these memories of how fun it was. And now as an adult, you're like, it's just not as fun as I thought it was. No. Of course it's fun because your kids are having a good time, and that's what you're there for, is for your kids to have a good time. But let me tell you something. There was a lot of walking. There was a lot of steps. There was... Oh, I'm so old. There was... convoluted memories that you have. Really thought that it was set up a little bit differently than what it is, but apparently my memory is not as good as I thought it was. We went out and walked from the falls. Well, we walked to the falls first. Did not realize there was parking on the actual river. So we parked at the very front and had to walk all the way down to the falls. I was very upset because they had a little stand out there that sold snow cones and funnel cakes and all this other stuff. And if you know me, you know I love funnel cake. Okay? That is the best thing in the whole entire world. I remember going to the Four States Fair every year, and that's what I got. I got a funnel cake and gator. Okay? And anytime I go to a fair, anytime I go any place that has a funnel cake, I have to get a funnel cake. Well, it was cash only, which is crazy right now because most places ain't taking cash at all. So, of course, I didn't bring any cash. Emma was like, I got some. And I was like, I'm not walking all the way back to the truck. So, we did make it up to the truck. And after we got done swimming, we went back down to go up to the castles. And, of course, they're cool, but they're not as preserved as they were when I was younger. They got graffiti all in them. Yeah, it's kind of sad, because these are things that, like with our world right now, people are trying to destroy everything. And it's like, man, these were so cool, they were up on the mountainside, it's just sad. It's sad to me that, people have to do those things and destroy something beautiful, you know. But anyway, we did get the truck, and we came back down to the parking area where we could actually park. And I was like, oh my God, Emma, you get me a funnel cake. All right, I'll give you the money as soon as we leave here, okay? It was like $4 for a funnel cake. So we run to the truck, we get the money, go back to the little stand. It's closed. I'm like, it was so sad. I just wanted a funnel cake. Of course, you know, it was for all of us, but the kids had a blast. They went down the river. You know, I'm carrying the backpack because, you know, I've got a different idea of what it is. But let me tell you something. I tried to get in that water and walk one time, and I about busted my ass. It was so funny to me. I'm laughing so hard because, you know, I got this backpack and I've got, you know, their life jackets connected to the backpack, and, you know, you're looking like a pack mule walking through there because you got kids. That's what happens. And, you know, I'm thinking to myself, I don't recall having to wear a life jacket when we went out there when I was a kid. But, you know, with something like that, especially by the falls, they've got undercurrent, they got stuff like that. So now you're like nervous, you know, like your parent instinct comes in and you're like, nope, you're wearing that life jacket. I don't care how good you can swim. I don't care. Da 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 da. You know, you're not gonna get pulled under. You're not gonna do this. You're not gonna do that. But one of the things that was the kicker was, you know, the first thing they say is there's no lifeguards on duty. Well, there was lifeguards on duty. One of them was asleep. Yep, sure was. You know, thank God if anything happened to my children, I know CPR and I can swim and I know how to, you know, protect my children. But there's so many people out there that don't. But anyway, so we're walking down through there. I get out of the water because I done busted it. Okay, thank God I didn't get, the water wasn't deep enough to get the backpack in the water. And at that moment, I'm like, oh shit, I'm old. I'm like, what am I doing? So what's funny is the kids, you can see what's in front of you, okay? And the kids are going through these little paths on the river that have no water. None. I mean, there's a little bit, you know, of course it's over the rocks. There's a little bit, but it's like just 2 feet to the left or 2 feet to the right. You have bodies of water that you can get in and just kind of float. And so I told the kids, I was like, you know, we'll go get some tubes and we'll go down this. And yeah, we never made it back up that direction to go down the river on the tubes. We spent most of the time around the slide and the diving board and stuff like that. Joe, of course, was so mad at me because he had to wear his life jacket the whole time, and he was like, I could swim. I want to take my life jacket off and I want to jump off the diving board and not, you know, all this other stuff. And it's like, you can't take that off. Leave it on. And then you have to explain to kids, you got to get out of the way. Okay, so Joe's got this life jacket on. And if you know my Joe, you know he moves like a grandpa anyway. Okay? That's Grandpa Joe. That's who he is. He's Grandpa Joe. Getting in the truck is a feat because he takes forever. Okay? Getting out of the truck. He can't just jump down. No. We got to do everything super cautious. Okay? So one of the pictures I took is of them on top of the castle. And Emma gets up there, she's got this pose, and she's all, all this stuff. Well, Joe wanted to do the exact same thing. Well, he gets up there to do it. And he's so scared. He's so scared. I shouldn't be laughing, that's absolutely awful. But he's so scared. And then he does this pose, but it's so awkward. Like his knee is not bent properly and all this. It's very awkward. Anyway, they, on the way home, I'm like, did y'all have fun? Did y'all, I hope y'all had a blast, I was like, it was definitely different than it was when I went, and they're like, oh my God, yeah, it was so much fun. But what's funny is, so Emma wanted to go on this zip line. Okay, so it wasn't exactly in Turner Falls, it's up above Turner Falls. So I'm like, okay, we'll do that. Like when we leave here, we'll go up there and we'll do it. So she's all excited about doing this zip line, but she won't get on the slide. So we have a breakdown moment of getting on the slide. It was pretty emotional. I'm not getting into that, but it was pretty emotional. There was tears from both sides. And then she gets the courage. She got the courage for a certain person. And she said she was doing it for him. So she gets up there and she slides. And of course I'm right there. I'm her mom. That's where I'm supposed to be. That's where I'm going to be, right there at the bottom. So the video I got is not very good because you see me struggling to get over there to get her, because I've got to make sure that I'm right there, and she's like, oh, all these kids up there were trying to psych me out. They were in my head, And then she does it again. After the castles, we get in the truck and we leave and we go to the zip line because she is so excited about the zip line. And Joe's like, I ain't doing that. Nope. Not happening. And we get to the zip line and they're closed already. So she didn't get to do the zip line. So I'm super bummed about that because she was so excited about it. And it would have been a cool experience for her because she could have got up there and saw the whole mountainside. I mean, she could have saw everything. But they were freaking amazing and they had such a good time. It's just funny how the things in your head do not play out the same when you're an adult. Okay? You got all these great memories from when you were a kid. You're like, yeah, I was so stoked. We did this, we did this, we did this. It's like, I was telling my nephew about going to Lake Murray and cliff diving, which you can't do anymore. But it was the coolest thing ever. Like there was like a 30-foot cliff that we freaking jumped off of, and it was so much fun. And then of course, dumb people started going out there and the water went down and, they jumped and they died and, because there's stuff in the water, because, nobody has any common sense. But now that I'm thinking about it, I wouldn't jump off no damn cliff now. You got life messed up. Maybe a 10-foot. I ain't jumping off one that I might kill myself on. But I had no fear when I was a kid. None whatsoever. None. But I just wanted to share our wonderful Turner Falls trip. Because it made me laugh about how in our heads when we were kids, we thought it was the most awesome thing in the whole entire world. And they do too right now. Okay? And they're going to take their kids one day and they're going to be like, oh my God, it was the most awesome thing ever. This is what we did, da 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 da. And then you're going to get out there and your dreams are going to be crushed because it just wasn't quite as cool as you thought it was. But to your kids, it's the coolest shit ever. I don't know. It's just funny. The things that I've redone with my children. It's like going to Six Flags. Yeah, it's so great riding all these freaking rides and all this other stuff. By the time it's over with, you're exhausted. You don't want to walk anymore. You don't want to do nothing. You just want to get in a bed and go to bed and curl up and watch TV. That's what you want to do. But, hey, we're old. What do you expect from us? Our brains apparently don't work the same way that they did at one time. And but seeing the look on the kid's face, when we got up to the top of the castle, like all the way to the top, listen, my Joe he looks for the beauty in everything. Like, he is amazing at stuff like that. So he's sitting there, he's like, oh, Mom, this is just absolutely beautiful. And of course, there's a little couple sitting right there, and I'm like, Joe, thank God you think the way you do, because it's the little things in life that make everything worthwhile. Because if you could see the beauty in the little things, Joe always does. Okay, he was like, oh, Mama, you need to take a picture of that. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Okay, so of course I take a picture of it. It's the most beautiful thing he's ever seen. When we get the pictures developed in 20 years, he's got them, and he's excited about all of it. So it is what it is. But, yeah, and the little couple's like, listen, if he thinks that is so pretty, go right over there. So you get to see the falls from the top of the mountain. So you get up there and you're looking down on the falls. Well, Joe's like, oh, it's so beautiful, but I'm not going out there. Can't take a picture because he's scared to death. I'm like, come on, Joe. I always push my kids to do what they're uncomfortable with, because you just have to. You have to do things that you're uncomfortable with, okay? You can't be scared your whole entire life, okay? You have to put yourself out there sometimes. That way you do become comfortable. And he gets out there and he's got this look. I'm like, let me take a picture with you in the falls right behind you. And he's got this look of just sheer terror because nobody's standing beside him. Now, all three of us got up there and we took a picture together, and he was fine. Okay, little bit terrified, but not like he was by himself. So he's up there and he's like, and the look on his face when he's trying to take the picture is just priceless. And then, of course, Emma gets up there and she's like, yeah. I'm afraid of every height there is, and I overanalyze everything. Like coming down the slide, what she was overanalyzing was she could die. What if she came off the side of the slide and hit her head on the rock and she got a concussion and she drowned? I'm like, sister, I'm right here. The lifeguards were right there. One of the lifeguards was my friend. I'm like, they're right there. Nobody's going to let anything happen to you. Like, seriously, nothing at all, And she's like, no, I can't do it. I mean, it was horrible, her breakdown. One of the things she prides herself on is I can't remember the name of the place, but we went to this place and it had like bazooka ball and it had a zip line and, rope course, and it had pillars that you walked up. And once you got to the top, you jumped off, And, of course, I couldn't talk her into doing any of that. None of that, because I don't connect with her in that way. Like, it's more of my mom's demanding me to do this, and I don't want her to feel like I'm demanding her to do anything, because Emma she really is fearless. She just thinks she's not. So, Dakota talked her into it, and that was the person that she wished was there yesterday to talk her into going and doing these things, and she finally did for him. And what she don't understand is she's not doing it for anybody. She's doing it for herself. She did it. It was an accomplishment for her. And, you know, that's one of the things that me and him both told her when she did the rope course. Because I'm like, she's not going to do this rope course. Like, we've already had a mental breakdown about this. She's not going to do it. And then when he talked her into doing it, I mean, she was like, oh, did you see what I just did? Did you see this? Did you see that? But it was somebody that could connect with her on her level. And she loved it. I mean, she loved going down that slide yesterday, you know, besides the people behind her talking crap, you know, and being like freaking her out. But I told her, I was like, you know, I'm always right here. No matter where you're at, I'm right there. And I will catch you. No matter how many times you fall. And, you know, as a parent, that's what you're supposed to do. You know, we went out there yesterday. We didn't wear masks. I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not, you know, doing any of that stuff. I mean, we're fixing to send our kids to school. You know? That's a whole different ballgame right there. I got some stuff about that I'm going to come at. But we're fixing to send our kids to school not knowing who they've been around. You know, we don't know if their parents had corona. We don't know anything. I mean, this whole entire world is just scary anyway. You know, we stay in our little bubble when we go even out in public, you know. So us yesterday, it was just us three. Like, there was a shit ton of people there, but it was just us three, you know. So we went out there and we had a blast. And, you know, Joe has his little PSA that I have not uploaded yet. I have to upload it because, you know, he's like, you got to get out. You got to meet new people. You've got to... But he's my social butterfly. You know, he's like, you got to meet new people. You can't let corona, you know, run your life. You can't... And it's like, he's 8, dude, and he's thinking about this. I wasn't thinking about that stuff at 8 years old. But anyway, it's just crazy that when you're a kid, your memories, and I'll still have that memory. Like, my memory yesterday is not gonna erase my kid memory. You know what I mean? So my kid memory still thinks that everything is the most awesome thing in the whole entire world. And my adult memory is like, it's pretty awesome, but it's not as awesome as my kid memory thinks it is. But, you know, that's just me. I don't know if it's y'all or not. I mean, I enjoy the simple things in life now. You know, if I ain't got to walk, it's fantastic. Because I'm on my feet a lot. So, you know, I'm like, oh my God. And I'm not going to lie, coming down the mountain, I thought it was bad going up. Okay, we're walking up all these stairs. We got some inclines. We're doing all this. There's a couple times that Joe, you know, just laid down on the ground and died. Okay, he was like, oh my God, it's so hard. And then he's like, Emma, how are you doing this? You're so athletic. You know, and all the stuff that comes to his head. And I was kind of happy he laid down and died a couple of times because it gave me a chance to rest. But coming down was the hardest part. Oh my God. The hardest part was coming down off that damn mountain because, you know, you got to hold yourself in a certain position when you're going down an incline. Yeah, by the time we got about halfway through it, my back was hurting so bad. I just wanted to cry. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, why? God, I'm so out of shape. I'm on my feet for 14 hours a day. Like, what in the heck is going on? But it was so much fun seeing their face. And I just had to tell you that, your kid memory and your adult actuality is completely different. But, alright, guys, y'all have a good day. Love you guys. Mad Mom's out.